Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for your support. A very happy, blessed Sunday. I went for my service in the morning and I was blessed. Now it is time for politics. Straight, I want us to look at the Western Kenya emergence of Democratic Action Party, DAP-K party, that is being fronted by Eugene Wamalwa. I must say that January was a very busy month for that party because I think they were just starting to rebrand. Then when February came, it was time now to push their agenda. There is something about that party. The father of that party is Raila Odinga. Raila knew that Mudavadi was not going to support him as of 2022 because I think according to the NASA arrangement, Mudavadi was supposed to vie. But then Raila realized that it was time to scatter all. And now, guys, in this video, I'm looking at how the DAP-K party is actually scuttling William Ruto's arithmetic in Western by reducing the influence of Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula, if by any chance they had some tangible influence in Western Kenya. So let me tell you something. The DAP-K party was actually formed and stemmed from the Ford Kenya party that is being led by Moses Wetangula. And this was done deliberately. You remember the coups that were in that party? They were Munyinyi and Eseli Simiyu threatening to make sure that they eject Moses Wetangula as the party leader. All those, I want to believe, were actually planned by Raila Odinga. And this is why the person who is holding the certificate for the Ford Kenya party that Moses Wetangula is having is Raila Odinga. Let me explain. The Ford Forum for Restoration of Democracy, the initial Ford of 1992, split into two in the run-up to 1992 general election. Then Raila Odinga's father, Oginga Odinga, and Eugene Wamalwa, and Kijana Wamalwa, the Wamalwa senior, remained with Ford Kenya. Then Kenneth Matiba teamed up with Martin Shikuku to form the Ford Asili, the Swahili word which means the Ford original. Martin Shikuku was coming from Western, then Matiba was coming from Central. Matiba went for the polls in 1997 and I think 1992 and actually became number 2. But just at that point, the Western Kenya got split. Then in 1997, Martin Shikuku and Kenneth Matiba disagreed. And then the party was split. And that is what led to the end of Ford Asili. But the initial party of the Ford Kenya remained with Moses Wetangula, remained with Wamalwa. Actually, the person who should be, and he was a former member of Ford Kenya, who should be at the head of Ford Kenya is supposed to be Eugene Wamalwa. That is what is happening. So that is why the party that Moses Wetangula is having, Raila Odinga, is the person who is having that certificate. Because that party remained with the father. So it was backed by then Raila, Oginga Odinga and Ujinwa and Kijana Wamalwa Senior. Then Wamalwa passed on. The person who remained with that party, the shell of that party, was Raila Odinga after that. So guys, let me say something. Whatever is happening in Western Kenya is telling you is a wider scheme to make sure that they scuttle Amani. I don't know, and Western can tell us. Do you think Amani really had the grip on the ground? Did it have really supporters on the ground? Because according to members of parliament, they only had 17, 11, then 7. I think 7 were nominated, if I'm not wrong. They had 11, I think, including the women rep and the governors. No, they don't have a governor there. So DAP-K is out here to dismantle William Samoei Ruto. As we look at deeply, my punchline in this analysis is going to see how Natembeya is at the center of this. But before we do that, if you're watching this video, kindly take a second and subscribe. And more importantly, click the notification bell so that you'll be getting the notifications when we publish the videos. DAP is emerging as alternative to ANC. An alternative because after Mudavadi went to support William Ruto, I normally felt like his biggest mistake was lack of consultation, or what other people can say, participation, public participation. But then you can do public participation in such, because the reason why that did not happen is Mudavadi wanted an earthquake. He wanted to keep it a secret. In politics, one thing I've always understood is when it is involving more than two people, it can never be a secret. But that card, as much as was pushing an earthquake, but I think the first culprit of that earthquake is none other than Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula. They were the first people to be absolved, because after that, they actually see the forces against them. How do you think that DAP is dismantling William Ruto? One is making sure that they grab ANC leaders and make sure that Musalia Mudavadi do not have a powerful party. For the record, Butere MP Tindi Mwale joined DAP-K. Huisero MP Christopher Seka joined DAP-K. Nabulingo, who was just elected in a by-election from Matungu, joined. I think there is also the one from Teso North, I can't remember his name, Shamala from Lurambi. I think that is the bishop, this bishop guy, joined. Lugari, Ayub Savula have also joined. So these defections have actually left Mudavadi with no option, because William Ruto then, in Western Kenya, he's not going to have the popular candidates. I want to believe that if really these candidates were not that popular, then Mudavadi will not be worried. But because then they take these popular candidates to DAP-K, and DAP-K is under Azimio la Umoja, what this tells you is that when you get candidates that can marshal votes at grassroots, that even boosts the presidential ballot. And that is why I feel that's going to be a shot on William Ruto's foot. Secondly, is locking out Wetangula in Bungoma Kakamega race. Kenneth Lusaka, Ford Kenya is trying to convince Kenneth Lusaka to go and seek the Bungoma gubernatorial race. And I read in the Star that President Uhuru Kenyatta is actually roping in and is trying to advise Lusaka to join Azimio la Umoja, shelve the ambitions for the governor seat, and go and seek the Senate seat so that he can then remove Moses Wetangula. If you ask me, if Lusaka goes against Moses Wetangula, then he's going to seize it from Wetangula, and that will be the end of Ford Kenya. The only elected senator for Ford Kenya in Western or any other part of the country is Moses Wetangula himself, Papa Waroma. So that is also one of the schemes that they are putting to make sure that they lock him out. And if they have actually, and according to the Star, they're even saying that Lusaka has been told that if he goes to the other side, the Kenya Kwanza, and seek that seat, then they're going to revive all the cases again of corruption cases against him when he was the governor. Remember, he was the first governor. The other third aspect is Atuoli demolition. Atuoli is behind DAP-K, and Atuoli is working closely with Eugene Wamalwa, who is the patron of the party. And he actually mentioned that he was going to make sure he established an office in Bungoma, dismantle Moses Wetangula, and make sure that Bungoma becomes an Azimio zone. But then the truth of the matter here is, guys, you cannot underestimate Atuoli. And the reason why I want to tell you cannot underestimate, William Ruto, it's just recently that he has started attacking Atwoli after Mudavadi joined. But initially, William Atwoli spoke and said Ruto is not going to win the ballot. Ruto never responded to that man because he has support. There are particular clique of people from Luyaland who really subscribe to his politics. Personally, I don't fancy Atwoli. I think I just like him as the go-to boss. I don't fancy him around politics. I don't like. But then there are people in Western Kenya that really subscribe to Atwoli. And the latest, when they tried to when this issue of his wife, the wife joining UDA came, and they called him Minyororo, but they normally fear direct confrontation with Francis Atwoli. You will see that after when Atwoli comes up, and they make sure that that conversation goes down there. My punchline here is the person that is the key denominator at the DAP-K. That party is being formed around the former regional commissioner George Natembeya. Where Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto got majority of votes in Western Kenya was Trans Nzoia and Bungoma. And these areas are very strategic. But then, if you look at it critically, Raila has Busia, half Busia is Luo. So Raila has Busia in the pocket. Kakamega, he has a big support. Vihiga will be 50-50 because you can't underestimate the power of Homeboy and Musalia, that is his home ground. Now, Bungoma and Trans Nzoia is where Uhuru got many votes last year in the last general election. I want to tell you something, that Natembeya is going to make sure that he dismantles the ANC from Trans Nzoia. Look at the rally they held, the Azimio la Umoja rally. That rally was held and there was no big principle. Raila Odinga did not attend. It was attended by the Eugene Wamalwa, the Hassan Joho, the Natembeya, and just a caucus of the leaders and Junet Mohammed there. But I can tell you it was electric. Then Natembeya is just making first time entry into politics. And that is why I'm telling you that if he captures that seat, his votes are going to translate to Raila Odinga's presidential ballot. This is why he's actually a big factor here. After getting the endorsement from DAP-K, Natembeya ran and looked for UDA's candidate for Trans Nzoia seat, a gentleman known as Maurice Kaikai Bisaka. Maurice Kaikai Bisaka is the person who voted last time, and I think he became second to the current governor, Patrick Haemba. So he wanted to vie for the governor's seat with UDA, and is the person who was going to give Natembeya a run for his money, if you ask me. That is why there was analysis that was saying that UDA was actually fronting a governor's candidate in Trans Nzoia. What Natembeya has done, Natembeya has grabbed that guy, they are working together, and now Bisaka has defected from UDA and is going to vie for senator's seat through the Azimio la Umoja party. Let me tell you how the matrix is going to work out. If someone was a second runner-up in the governor's race, this is someone who has campaigned in the whole county, then now goes for the senator's seat through Azimio, and Natembeya is also on the governor's seat in Azimio ticket. Guys, Chris Wamalwa is really going to have a rough time. And I think over the weekend, I think it was Friday or yesterday, Chris Wamalwa had to run from a burial after a fight ensued between his supporters and those of Natembeya. And his supporters were overwhelmed. That shows you that really he is subdued in that area. You cannot depend on Chris Wamalwa now to deliver the Trans Nzoia votes, because now that is the focal person that Moses Wetangula is depending on. So guys, that is it. Secondly, why he's also dismantling William Ruto? Because he has been in government. He was in Rift Valley. He spent better part of his last 5 years in Rift Valley. He was in Narok, oversaw the Mau eviction. And so he's someone that is an enemy to the Kalenjin community, especially the ones that are in Trans Nzoia. So he's going to divide that vote very easy. I'm telling you, he's a thorny issue, George Natembeya. And Many candidates are now going to vie. After getting George Natembeya on the governor's ticket, he has got Bisaka on the center ticket. He's going to get other leaders to vie for the MCA seat under DAP-K. And that is how DAP-K is going to dethrone, Ford Kenya in Trans Nzoia. Guys, that's my analysis. What do you think on how Raila Odinga successfully is using DAP-K party to scuttle William Ruto's plans in Western Kenya?